Hello, I'm going to discuss today the solution set called Rapid Offer Design and Order Delivery. We're going to be discussing the role of order management in the context of how we are going to enable service providers design their offers, commercial offers quickly and get it out of the door faster, i.e. reduce the time to create and deliver the offer, and secondly is how do we make sure that once the offer is launched, the execution of that particular order, the order capture through the delivery of that is done most efficiently. So to discuss this, what I will first do is to lay out the lie of the land inside a typical architecture a phone company may have. Assume that it will be a very simple service for this phone company. There could be a startup or it could be a new division of an existing player. So what we will do over here is we'll show you a little network sitting over here, and probably assume that they will have two services, very simple voice and some kind of a broadband data service. We'll use the example of consumer services in this discussion. Thinking about this network, a typical IT architecture would look something like this. You would have some kind of a order capture capability. We will call it CRM over here, and it could have multiple points of order capture. This could be one CRM system or could be multiple CRM systems. So let's just look at various options they have. They have a direct channel, maybe for business to business customers. They have a web-based ordering system. They could have a retail point of sale. They could have a point of sale system over here, and of course they could have a call center. Okay. So the CRM system, multiple ways of capturing it. Chances are that each of these systems, if they've got multiple systems over there, probably will have a multiple product catalog sitting alongside it to create their offers and get them out of the door. Some of the other systems in the architecture would be billing systems. So in our instance, we would call it BRM, and usually the billing system also has its own product catalog. But the rest of the ecosystem typically would include let's say, a workforce management system. There would probably be some kind of a partner involved in it. So we would have partner for ordering either lease lines, the circuits, access circuits, or it could be simply even just a porting of a phone number. They will have some capabilities around service fulfillment. You will have supply chain management, for example, delivery of set-top boxes or modems, etc. to ship those. So we will call this ERP. And usually most of these systems are connected with some kind of an enterprise bus. And over here, so let's show as to how we would connect over here. This is how we do that. And to support the order management requirements today, most service providers they have a business process management tool either built in the bus or a separate COTS product to support a BPM capabilities. So given this architecture, let's look at the two key challenges which service providers have. The first challenge is the design time challenge, okay, which is how do you create an offer and get it out of the door faster. And so let's look at that as the first point, which is what we were going to call over here is slow offer creation. I'll explain to you how the slow offer creation would work. Why is it called slow? The key players in the things over here are marketing. And what would happen is marketing wants to launch an offer and says, yes, I want to launch an offer and I want to pass on the information to IT who will go and implement it in this system as to how to get it out. So here in this instance, we have marketing talking to IT, and the marketing department says that please launch an offer with these characteristics, which means the commercial offer or price bundling, etc. So what happens is the IT who gets the request, they will typically build it into one or more of these product catalogs over here. They will do it over here, and they will do it over here, start configuring and coding over here. Now the process which works through for the order design process is, offer design process is, that this is a sequential way of doing it. The CRM folks will typically start coding and building their product. It takes about maybe 1 to 2 days if it's a simple offer, and maybe more complex offers could take maybe about a week or 2 weeks at the most. So now once these guys do that, in parallel or maybe sequentially, you may have people in the billing system as well building the same thing to support that requirements which you are building over here. So these are being done in parallel, not necessarily being synchronized together, but being done in parallel. But then once you've done that over here, it comes over to the BPM tool to start working on workflows, as people are generally referred to in the industry. I need to make sure that the rest of the organization, people, and systems, etc., can be doing that. So what they have to do is to map these commercial offers to the technical services on which these offers are residing. And that's where the problems start happening. What happens is this takes about a week to start mapping those commercial products and offers onto these technical services. It takes about anything between 2 months to 6 months, depending on how simple or complex that particular service and offer might be. And then to map those services to the network and the IT resources sitting over here or across over there could take as long as between 6 months to 18 months. So we have an example, we have syndicated this with a number of providers, both on the enterprise side and on the consumer side. I'll give you 2 examples. Bell Canada has Siebel CRM. They use a direct channel over here, and they take approximately, according to the general manager of their CRM systems, customer care and billing systems, they take approximately 8 to 18 months to be able to design and get an offer out of the door. Now, remember, I'm talking about creating an offer, not a brand new service, and this is for their small and medium enterprise services. The reason for that is that all these processes are disjointed. They currently use a BPM product from a competing vendor, but they're sitting on top of a Vitria bus. So even after that, what happens is when they design the offer design process, because it is so sequential and fragmented, that when they launch the service, they typically have expressed to us that it takes approximately not just the time constraints to get it, but they have a large number of auto fallouts going on as a result of this. And because it's so disjointed, they're saying that they'd be really happy if they can cut that just down to 20%. So that's an example of where it's taken such a long time, because all of these steps are being done again and again. The second example which we have over here is of Telstra, where they have a Siebel CRM, probably using a couple of these auto capture mechanisms with there, and they have they've used a process similar to BPM from a competing vendor, which is Amdocs in this instance. And what they're trying to do over here is trying to get their DSL service out of the door faster, all the various offers in DSL. And the general managers, both the marketing and the IT people we spoke to, told us that it takes approximately 6 months to test the service before they are comfortable that the offer which they're going to launch will be able to work across the whole portfolio, so the whole ecosystem stack they have. Just to show you that a simple offer is taking a long time. So think what happens is that now maybe you've created one offer site over here, you do this, you configure it, these people have to now then start configuring it across all of these systems and working groups. If marketing comes up with another offer over here, and let's call this a triangle over here, you have to repeat this process every time in at least a minimum of these 3 areas. And then this goes and has a ripple effect across all of that. So think of it that you've created an offer, and now all you want to do is to offer let's say from a standard DSL service to a huge service which is slightly better and lower priced offer. Instead of having to rewrite the processes of decomposition rules for your sales orders, which will impact all these, is there a better way of doing it? Today it doesn't exist. So this is one of the issues which we find in the design time, which most of the users of CRM are facing. In addition to that, what also happens is that because many of these systems could be not just one, there could be multiple of these systems working across. There's not just one CRM system, there could be multiple auto capture systems for different services. There could be one for DSL, one for voice, etc. that will create these problems. So that in a nutshell is the issue with the offer creation. It takes a long time to create an offer and get it out of the door. If I can give you an example in the mobile environment, there's a customer in the Mediterranean. It's about 50 million customers, subscribers, and they have 16,000 mobile offers they launch a year. Now think of it that if you're able to save them $1, so they can generate $1, of revenue by getting the offer out of the door faster by a week, they can actually be generating $60 million just on one particular offer alone. So immediately it helps the value of the CRM implementation. It also helps the value of what we are able to command in terms of license sales for this particular solution. So Okay, so let's assume that they've created these offers and they're ready now to go and launch the service to the public. So what are the 2 or 3 issues they come across? So this is what we would call is the design, this is what we will discuss as the runtime challenges. The runtime challenge basically is the ability to capture the order and to be able to make sure the order can be executed and delivered as you have contracted it and based upon the customer experiences. So let's look at the 3 key areas which I'd like to cover over here. The first is the order fallout. So in this instance, what we will have is, you have a customer, okay, who has agreed to take your offer. Let's say you do a new DSL service, you've launched it, the customer says, great, goes over to the web and orders your service over here. He starts negotiating a service. So let's just put a little calendar over here to see how this will work out. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So let's say the customer calls and wants to negotiate an order with you and places an order on Monday. So what in this instance would happen is they would say, yes, we can give you the service, DSL service. They will take an order, they will do a quick validation, is the DSL service available based upon your area code or your telephone number of some kind, and say, yes, we can do that. They will do some kind of a quick credit check to make sure you are valid as a customer, you can do that. And once they do that, they will give you a delivery date. So, we call it D over here. And that delivery date will be able to deliver the service to you. And in this instance, what they will do is, they will capture the order and send it down through the systems to all the various systems to execute upon it. So in this example, what would happen is that because it's a new offer coming out, they're giving, let's say they're giving a very good price, so they get oversubscribed. So by the time the 3rd day comes along, you know, to turn up a port for this particular customer, they may have run out of ports by that time. It was available when they took the order, but by the time the actual time to implement that comes across, to turn up the port over here, they've run out of it. So therefore, nobody knows in the rest of the system that this may have fallen out. In the meantime, what happens is the ERP system continues with its own task and ships out a modem to the customer without knowing whether the actual order can be fulfilled by the rest of the organization. So what happens here is that the customer is waiting to get the service on that particular day, and that particular time what happens is they decide to call when the order doesn't get fulfilled as promised. So when they call, they'll call your call center. Now think about what happens is that the web-based ordering is the cheapest mechanism of capturing the order. Most phone companies are trying to drive customers to use web-based ordering. And now they're going to call the most expensive resource to check what's happened to their order. That's not the only problem you will have in that. What happens is that because these could be different systems, the visibility of what's happening in this system may not be available in this system either. So how do you know that the information which is being captured over here is also being reflected in that area? That's an area which is certainly an issue, but assume that for a minute that is not the issue alone. What happens is when they do call, by this time this system over here will probably know that the order has not been executed. But all they will really know is it's not been delivered, it's not been executed. They really don't know why. They cannot get to the root cause as to what the issue is. So the call center agent actually doesn't really know what happened. So they actually have to physically call the network engineering to figure out what has happened to support the customer request. And this could take a long time to be able to do that. But let's just take it one step forward and say, you know what, the reason the customer in the meantime, the marketing has launched another offer and says that we will give you free VoIP voice service for the next 3 months if you take our broadband. So the customer says, you know what, I want to change my order a little bit. I want to add on the VoIP to my broadband service. So they change this. They change the order over here and they're saying I want to have broadband and VoIP. So in this instance, what happens is you require an order revision to be done inside your front office order capture systems. So the order revisions can be done over here. The problem is that these systems are not yet configured to take care of any unplanned order revisions. So as a result, they're unable to take the request and on the existing order. So in this instance, example, the CSR is going to cancel the original order and issue you a new order. So in the meantime, what happens there is that work gets cancelled, but nobody has said what should happen to this particular modem. So in the meantime, they will have another order come out and another modem gets shipped. This is an example, okay? But in the meantime, we've given a new date, a delivery date of over here. So, the two issues we're trying to highlight over here: poor order visibility. There's no visibility of these people or the other people of each other, what they're doing, and they're able to control it. And all those costly in-flight order changes, okay, are going to make life difficult for the particular operator on an ongoing basis. So the cost of changing the orders over here, the cost to support the processes, to support across all of these, is just not possible to plan ahead. Okay, so those are the kind of things we find over here. So just to recap, we have the design time issues in the offer creation I talked about. We talked about three issues in the order, in the runtime environment, in the order capture and the delivery capabilities. And then now I'm going to talk about what happens if you further complicate matters by adding on new services, or either through acquisitions or growth of the particular operator, which is basically increasing IT costs. If you just go back for 1 minute for a second, some of these issues which we have discussed are impacting the front office people, is impacting customers' revenue. So what people really do is they try and say that this organization may take another 6 months to do it, so they will create a quick workaround solution to be able to address the problem quickly. Because quite often you find silos working in organizations. As a result, because the first system couldn't do it, they'll create a new system to support the next level of service so they can get it out of the door faster. This is also the same case in billing. It's not just in service fulfillment. It could be in billing, it could be in workforce management, etc., etc. And with each of these, they have basically add the complexity. So as you can see now, unintentionally the complexity is going on because they're trying to address that problem. But imagine now if the person also decides to do mobile service, or they decide to do television-based service, video-based services. All these systems have been multiplying over here, and these costs of integrating into all these various systems are going to continue rising. So according to one estimate, based upon analysts' research, to support an existing environment and to support the growth and the constant change going on, eats up about 66% of an operator's IT budget. So that is an area which an operator, a CIO, is really concerned about. How do you get this particular environment under control, and you can support any business model, any service, and get it out of the door faster? So IT cost is a big issue for them. So what we've demonstrated over here is issues in design time, issues in runtime, and of course on an ongoing basis, no ability to stop the proliferation of multiple systems and therefore costs to support that. So what is the Oracle's value proposition? So what we would do now is we're going to take and erase all this stuff around over here in the middle. Okay, we're going to erase all that in the middle over here. We're going to erase this, all these various catalogs. We'll erase all this. Erase that. All this custom stuff we discussed over here, including this over here. Okay. And let's erase this as well. So I'm going to discuss Oracle's value proposition. So Oracle's value proposition really is to ensure that we are able to support the customer, to reduce the offer time to market, improve order cycle time, and increase operational efficiency. And I'm going to take you through as to how we're going to help our customers deliver this. So our key value proposition to the customer is we will allow fast time to market with integrated end-to-end offer design and configuration. We provide shorter order cycles with complete visibility across the order life cycle. We reduce costs by eliminating the need for siloed systems and manual workaround processes. So basically our elevator pitch is we provide a fully integrated, product-based, rapid offer design and order delivery solution that cost-effectively speeds offer introduction and order delivery. Let's take you through as to how we're going to do this. Okay, so first is fast offer creation. which is we'll discuss the design time. Let's go through what will happen is, what we will do now here is, you saw the earlier, we had the whole mess over here, so this is now, we'll assume this is going to be Siebel CRM. Siebel CRM has the ability to support all kinds of order capture, be they web system, web, direct access, retail, point of sale, or call centers. And sitting alongside it, we will have introduced the concept of a product hub. Okay? And sitting with Siebel, underneath Siebel, is OSM, which is the order management application. And this is going to be connected with the product hub. So product hub is a central product catalog from Oracle Communications, where we'll have a single product catalog to support the offer design and billing, in front office order capture systems, and the order orchestration requirements, which will orchestrate the orders across the entire ecosystem. So the first concept we're introducing is Product Hub. Second application introducing is Order Management, a productized application. These are built on AIA, Fusion middleware, and OSM, of course, is integrating to the rest of the architecture using Fusion middleware over here. Okay. So we'll go back to the same example as we did earlier, and we'll show you as to what how it changes. So marketing provides IT information saying that we want to launch a particular offer. So we'll again draw that offer over here. Over here, so that's a new offer I want to create. This time, IT is going to populate the product hub. It'll put the information inside here, and what product hub does is, through its productized integration, it will upload information into Siebel CRM, it will upload information into Oracle Communications BRM, as well as into the OSM application. Okay, so as you start designing your service over here, you would be able to immediately start seeing, or other applications are immediately able to see, basically, so if you do the service over here, this will get the same information comes here, and the same information comes here. Automatically get this information over here, and they can start designing it together. Now what happens is that as you design your commercial offer over here, order management has exactly the same information for products being populated over here. And for the first time, Siebel CRM is able to visualize as to how the order life cycle would look through CRM by designing the systems across over here. Okay? It has, before it didn't have the capability of doing that. Second, if you are going to introduce a new particular offer over here, okay, same process works over here. It will load information inside here, and over here, and over here. Now let's assume this particular new offer is an extension of a product clause. Just the same offer. It's a DSL service. Now you've got from a family DSL, you're getting a youth DSL with a couple of new discounted pricing options. You do not have to start changing anything inside OSM. What is a term I want to introduce to you is called zero configuration. So if you're introducing on existing services, there's different types of commercial offers and bundles, OSM automatically understands it's on the same service and does not require any changes done across any other of the ecosystem. So basically, OSM is able to take that information and connect and insulate the rest of the ecosystem required to execute the order into Siebel CRM. So your design tile information basically is simplified, and this cuts down time significantly and the effort required to support that. So again, I want to talk to you about, for example, in a mobile environment, the biggest issue over here is how do I reduce that time to launch an offer. Offers will change consistently, services don't. So long you understand that, I think you'll be able to better appreciate and explain that to the customers. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is the runtime environment. So there are three issues again we talked about in the runtime environment was the order fallout. So what we're doing first is no order fallout. This is the first thing which we're going to address. The second we're going to provide is complete order lifecycle visibility. And the third thing we're going to do over there over here is to make sure there is no cost for in-flight order provisions. Just look at this. So we covered earlier offer creation. I'm going to cover to you the next three key issues in the design, in the runtime environment of what happens. We'll again do the same thing. Customer, you launch the same service over here. You've got a customer over here who comes in and says, I want to place an order, and he goes to call the web. Now what changes between the old and the new? Based upon what is coming on, what OSM provides Siebel CRM and the order capture is two or three things. First, it allows you improved order validation during the capture process. So what happens is, initially, when the customers will come in, when they come on the web, they will not just be able to take orders like you used to do before and just do simple validation. They're able to now physically go in to any other systems over there and reserve things for future. They can actually allocate things in the future. So for example, the previous example I've given was that by the time they ran out the ports, by the time they came to provision them. This time, for example, they can actually go and physically reserve a particular port for a particular date when the customer wants that service. So this will allow improved order capture. So it's also known in the industry as, can I take orders, future dated orders? So this will allow you to support future dated orders as an example. It cuts down the time and the need to have trained CSRs to be, to train CSRs to take that. Automatically the system is able to understand the front office and do that. Second, it provides visibility across multiple channels, what each of these channels may be doing, and links them up. So in the order capture process, there's multiple channels that are required to support that. It allows you to do that. It allows you to take the order and to capture that. So as a result, what happens is, in this instance, let's look at the same example. We've got the same thing. Customer calls on Monday and says, I want to place an order. It does the validation of the particular office. It goes to OSM, does technical service validation across all of these various systems to make sure that service can be delivered as required, or, as negotiated. So, and they're given a date. Let's say it happens to be that next week, a delivery date over there. But 2 days later, we will find that, go back for a minute. It takes the order, it says, figures out. So in this instance, what they do is they go and configure and say they've already reserved a port, which happens to be a 2 megabit port. Okay, in this instance, they're going to provide that. They'll go to the shipping system and say, ship a modem over there to this, and the modem has to be planned to be shipped back to the customer. Okay, that's an example. Okay, things are progressing along. They've been pre-reserved. Nothing goes wrong over here. We've got customers whose order fallouts are next to nothing using this particular system. But imagine what happens is that in 3 days later, the marketing launches another promotion saying that if you take, for the first 3 months, I'm going to give you 3 free TV channels if you take my new TV service, IPTV service. So what this happens is the customer calls call center and says, I want to change. I want to add on my TV to my broadband service this time. A little bit more complex service. So the first thing which happens here is that the CSR has complete visibility of where the order is, what can be done, has it reached a point of no return or not, and if it has, then can they still take the order and fulfill it based upon that, or do they need to do something different? But let's assume for a minute that it hasn't reached a point of no return. What happens over here is the guy says, yes, we can deliver the TV service to you, but they realize they've got already pre-provisioned a 2 megabit bandwidth, but we want need probably 10 megabits. So in this instance, what we will do is they will take the order. The system, order management over here, automatically starts understanding where the system is, what has been achieved so far in every stage. It has its own view and databases. It's providing 360 views of the orders to the CSRs or to the customers. It understands, first of all, it will stop everything what's going on and determine what needs to be changed automatically. What has changed between the old order and the new request. And then based upon that, it will work out a compensation program or a plan as to how other things need to be compensated, i.e. what needs to be redone or undone or cancelled. So in this example, for example, we would say that they need to first unprovision a 2 megabit bandwidth and to reprovision it for 10 meg because they've now ordered a TV service and that was a high definition TV. Okay, it will make it do that. it also realizes that now the shipping instructions, we're going to stop the shipping of that modem, the modem alone, because now they need a set-top box. So they need not just that, the whole thing has changed considerably. They need to change that, and maybe they need to change a different modem as well. So here, instead of just shipping that out and sending another one out later on, they make the switch appropriately, the packaging is done and gets done over here, and the order can be taken care of without any interruptions to the existing order. So here what the CRM person has done is, it has still allowed them to deliver the service on that particular day. They brought back, in the previous they had to push back the revenue by a week. Here they can still deliver it, improved customer satisfaction, no order fallout, complete visibility, and there have been literally zero changes required on a manual basis, i.e. there's no coding or process building to support that. So the important thing is the Siebel CRM is able to allow any of those channels which is coming through. It could be a call center, it could be even based on web, to allow you to automatically handle any change requests or any follow-on orders coming into the system. So, that we're going to show you as to how this has worked out. The last point I want to bring over here is we talked about was escalating costs, high escalating costs over here. Okay, so what we are basically doing is we're allowing you to reduce IT costs through consolidation. Okay, how do we do that? Well, look at this way. So first of all, instead of having multiple systems supporting different things and rebuilding everything else, what we do is we take all this architecture. Doesn't matter which business plan, which commercial models, services, etc., which the operator is engaged in, we are able to support that out of the box. Basically, what we do is we replace thousands of process definitions with a dynamic order orchestration capability. An example of this is in BT, where they had 40,000 processes to support 20,000 different products. We were able to cut it down to just one simple dynamic order orchestration process, which takes the order over here, automatically determines what needs to be done, and a single process for all those different variations of those commercial offers could be done by one process. Now imagine if this was done in a middleware, it would take forever to do that. The second is, as a result of that, no workarounds are happening anymore. There's no workarounds, no new silos are being created. It's just one system which is allowing them, the front office, have complete control over the delivery of the execution of that particular service and offers. And it doesn't really matter whether you've got a business model of saying it's prepaid or postpaid, or it's for an enterprise customer, or a consumer, high volume consumer services. It's the same application, the same solution would provide that same seamless level of service for Siebel to offer, its customers, and for its into BRM to offer its customers across to support Siebel to get that services delivered. And lastly, why does it cut costs down? Okay, we're saying all of that stuff. The important thing is the role which has to be played with AIA in this. Okay, the AIA program. We're offering you a solution. We have synchronized roadmaps across the entire product portfolio. I.e., when we're releasing Siebel functionality, at the same time we're also releasing billing functionality, order management functionality, product hub, fully integrated. So there's product functionality inside it, there's integration functionality inside it, and so basically we understand what is needed to support a particular business model. So when you're implementing the solution, you will be able to know with confidence that if things are going to be needed in Siebel which need to be supported across the whole chain, it can be supported across not just the Siebel but across the entire stack, and vice versa. So to close this, I'd just like to make sure that we recap. What do? We basically are enabling customers to support their design time, i.e. to do fast offer creation, to support their order cycle time or the run time, i.e. to deliver services quickly, efficiently, without fallouts, at the lowest cost. And finally, we're able to help them consolidate and reduce IT costs on an ongoing basis. The key value proposition of this, the key biggest value proposition for customers is enabling faster revenue generation for customers to better utilize their front office systems to provide a greater customer experience and an enriched experience for both the internal IT teams as well as the customers. Thanks.